Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kate. I'm a 16-year veteran teacher out of San Diego, California. And today we're going to be talking all about how the coronavirus has canceled education. So if that's something that you're interested in, whether you be a future educator, a fellow educator, a former educator, or just someone who's really curious about this topic, then just keep watching. So I'm probably going to break this up into 3 separate parts, and the first part is going to be all just about how everything kind of unfolded leading up to the cancellation of schools. And then the second part is going to be kind of the impact that this is having on our students, their education, and why teachers are now scrambling so hard to figure out how to best teach our children when we are not with them face to face, and why I think this is hitting elementary school a lot harder than middle school and a lot harder than high school, and definitely a lot harder than college. So the third part is just going to be kind of what I think the future is going to bring. So the whole point of this is it is going to be coming from my perspective, and my perspective is fairly narrow in the information that I have. So because this is a global pandemic, I would love for you to weigh in and just kind of get the conversation going. So let's go ahead and get started with part 1. All right, so let's jump into this. Everything leading up to the notification of closure. When this happened in Wuhan, honestly, I was like, okay, everybody's quarantined, it's gonna be contained, we're good, right? Well, fast forward, that was really wrong. It has just spread like wildfire. And I mean, that's essentially a pandemic, right? And I was thinking back to other pandemics and how devastating they've been in the past. And I was thinking about where we are now. And the thing is, there are so many more people living on the earth than those previous pandemics. But I truly believe that our healthcare system is not prepared to properly treat all of the people that potentially are going to be contracting COVID. So this is definitely something, I am not being political here at all. This is not a political discussion. So with that said, that is something that is a concern to me. So I am practicing social distancing as much as I can right now, and it is easy because I live alone. However, with that said, let's jump to the week before the notification came in. So in the news, we started to see a lot of information about school districts shutting down. Now, these were districts where there were a lot of confirmed cases of COVID, right? And in San Diego County, at that time, I had not seen any confirmed cases, or it was like maybe 1 or 2. By Friday, February 13th, I think we were up to 6, and I don't know what it's at now, but so the urgency to shut down the school was not high because, one, San Diego Unified had not shut down yet, and there just weren't really a lot of cases. However, being a public servant and working with so many kids, you know, it takes a while for the incubation process to actually show up, for the symptoms to start showing up. So of course, you know, I was worried about my potential exposure, or if I had been exposed to the virus, potentially passing it on to my students. So I was becoming very anxious to come into work, and I think that was pretty like a common feeling for a lot of people. Now, one thing that I was taking was oil of oregano pills every day, 2 a day, twice a day. And I don't know, maybe it was in my head or whatever, but I am still feeling perfectly healthy. So then I saw, and I don't know if this was a real tweet or a doctored tweet, but I saw a tweet from President Trump, and it said on there that he was going to be closing all public schools on March 16th. So in my head, I kind of knew this was coming. Unfortunately, you know, our admin was, you know, they have to go off the information they're getting, and so anytime a new decree would be passed on by the governor, they would follow it. So, for example, the governors had said, okay, no social gatherings, any sort of gathering with 250 or more people, done. You can't have them. So assemblies were canceled, field trips were canceled, like everything was being canceled. And I was grateful for that, in all honesty. And then, you know, there was the whole thing about keeping 6 feet apart from other people. That is not possible in a school setting. And so that was making me very anxious. And I know my students were getting anxious about it. I mean, we had long conversations about COVID on the 12th of March. My students just needed to speak and to say their thoughts and their opinions. And so I gave them that space to do that. But I had a sneaking suspicion that we were going to get notification that school was going to close on the 16th. I thought we would find out on Friday. So still hadn't heard anything. And then finally we get the notice a couple hours into the day that it was going to be closing. And I had extremely mixed emotions. I thought for my own sake, like my own health and safety, I was happy to know that I wouldn't be putting myself into harm's way. But I was extremely concerned for how this was going to impact my students. And if any of you are watching, I do miss you terribly. I know it's only been a day, but I cannot wait to see you guys again face to face. But anyway, with that said, that was something that I am struggling with still as an educator. The fact that I know I won't be able to be with them and kind of support them through this time. And so I'm definitely stressed about that. And I think that in the end, schools shutting down, I mean, this is worldwide. I think back to other pandemics and times when schools have had to shut down. And quite frankly, I have to say, even when I was a kid, this never happened globally. I mean, think about this, you guys. When in your lifetime, I'm in my 40s, and in my lifetime, I have never seen schools shut down worldwide. I have never seen education take a halt, a complete stop, right? This is insane. I know not every district, not every country is shutting down. I get that, but there are many that are. And the whole idea of students, just their education just stopping, it's insane to me, right? It's just crazy. And we will talk more about that in part 3 of this video, but it's just something that is on my mind right now as we speak. And I think, you know, I saw something very disturbing. Now, I don't know how true it is, so please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But there is a school in Queens that somebody, a student, a staff, somebody tested positive, and they are in the process of cleaning this school right now, but plan to reopen. And if I do remember correctly, the CDC says to wait 2 to 5 days before anybody returning. So to me, that seems very flippant of what is being recommended. But if I'm wrong, please correct me or enlighten me more. But that is scary to me, and that is putting your students and your employees at risk. So with that said, okay, so part 2 is going to be all about the impact this is having on students. So if that's something that you want to watch, then hit that little subscribe button and the bell, because the next video will be uploaded a couple days after this one. And again, remember, keep the conversation respectful and hopeful and positive if you can. Because if you are disrespectful in the comments, I will delete what you have to say. So this is definitely a discussion type of a video, and I think we all have a lot to learn from one another and just hear each other's experiences. So I really truly hope that you will be a part of the conversation, and I will see you for part 2 very soon.